Om Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadashivasamarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Narayanam Padmabhavam Vasishtam Shaktim cha Tatputra Parasharam cha Vyasam Shukam Gaudapadam Mahantam Govinda Yogindra Matasya Sishyam Sri Shankaracharya Matasya Padma Padam cha Hastamalakam cha Shishyam Tam Todakam Vartika Karamanyan Asmadgurun Santatamanatosmi Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vitvaram. Om Sri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. 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 Maunam Vyakya Prakatita Parabrahma Tattvam Yuvanam Varshistante Vasat Rishigane Ravrutam Brahmanishtai Acharyendram Karakalita Chinmudramanandarupam Swatma Ramam Mudita Vadanam Dakshinamurtimide Vishwam Darpana Drishyamana Nagari Tulyam Nijantargatam Pashyannatmani Mayaya Bahirivodbhutam Yata Nidraya Yasakshat Kurute Prabodha Samaye Swatmanamevadvayam Tasmai Sri Gurumurtaye Namayidam Sri Dakshinamoortaye Bijasyantarivangkuro Jagatidam Prang Nirvikalpam Punah Maya Kalpita Desha Kala Kalana Vaichitra Chitri Kritam Maya Viva Vijrumbayatyapimaha Yogi Vayasvechaya Tasmai Sri Gurumurtaye Namayidam Sri Dakshinamurtaye Yasyaiva Spuranam Sadatmakamasat Kalpartakam Vasate साक्षात् तत्त्वमसीति वेदवचसा यो बोधयत्याश्रितान् यः साक्षात्करणान् भवेन्न पुनरावृत्तिर्भवाम्भोनिधौ तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नम इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये. We have seen 3 verses in Dakshinamoorty Stotram with Ullasa. Now, having established Yasya eva spuranam sadatmakam asat kalpartakam basate asat kalpartakam sad iva basate yasya eva spuranat, by whose presence alone all the world, everything is shining, came to be known. And also that one is being taught by the Guru as Tattvamasi. You are that. To whom? Ashritan, to those who have surrendered to him. Is Sakshat Karanat, after having understood which, realizing which, na punaravritti bhavambonitau bhavet. There is no coming back into this ocean of samsara. To that Guru, Dakshinamurti, salutations. Now, the next verse is similar to that of the previous one, to so to say. But the question is, the objects that we come to see in this world, are they there before us? If the world which we see, it's already there before us. Us means all beings. All beings who have the consciousness, who is seeing them? Their existence is known how? In other words, can the world be without consciousness? In other words, can the world can exist independent of consciousness? Now that is taken up in a different way. We'll see. First, we'll read the verse and then we'll look into that. In the Ullasa, anyway, first we'll take up the Ullasa and then see. First Ullasa is going to talk about that. Let us see here. Verse number 4. First we will see the Ullasa and then the question will be taken up. Swadasanta prakashante bhava gatapatadaya nishvarasya samaveshat ityasyottaramuchyate. Swadasanta prakashante bhava gatapatadaya nishvarasya samaveshadityasyottaramuchyate. Asya uttaram uchyate. Uttaram, answer. Answer is being given about what? Gatapata adayaha. Gata means pot, pata means cloth. Gatapata adayaha, pot, cloth, etc. Bhavaha. Bhavaha, vishayaha, objects. Swataha santaha prakashante. Swataha by themselves. Santaha existing. And prakashante reveal themselves. Na ishvarasya samaveshat. Without the samavesha existence or without the presence of Ishvara has all-pervading presence. Ishvarasya samaveshat na, not with the presence of Ishvaraha, all of them are existing and revealing. Is it so? In this question is being answered now. Meaning, the world has an independent existence or not? Other than Ishvara, without the Ishvara, do they exist? Do they come to be known? Can they reveal themselves? See, all living beings, they know themselves as well as they know everything else. Everything else means whatever is that they are able to perceive. For it is true that no living being need to be told that you are. Not in a little language that we know, even a plant which is growing in your garden, it has self-awareness, because of which only it wants to survive. A stone or a non-existing being, non-living being, living in the sense, not just existence, but it knows its existence. Non-living beings cannot know their own being, their own presence. Jadam, they are called Jada. Jagat Jadam va Chetanam va. In other words, Jadam va Chetanam va. The world is Jada or Chetana. Jadam Chet, Ishvarat Binnam Natishtati. Without the Ishvaraha, it cannot be staying or knowing, to be known by anybody. And if you say Jadam na, Jagat na Jadam, Chetanameva, then what is the difference between a living being and an inert being, what we call it as inert? So then there will be no inertness at all. That is also not acceptable. Now, so therefore, the question here is, what appears to be non-living, what appears to be Jadam, is there is something which is called Jadam, or it is appearing to be there as Jadam? Now let us see how it is answered in the verse number 4. Nana Chitra Gatodara Stitamaha Deepa Prabhabhaswaram Jnanam Yasyatu Chakshuradikarana Dvara Bahispandate Janamiti Tameva Bantam Anubhati Edat Samastam Jagat Tasmai Sri Gurumurtaye Namayidam Sri Dakshinamoortaye Nana Chitra Gadodara Stida Mahadeepa Prabhabhaswaram Jnanam Yasyatu Chakshuradikarana Dvara Bahispandade Janamiti Tameva Bantam Anubhati Etat Samastam Jagat Tasmai Sri Gurumurtaye Namayedam Shri Dakshinamoortaye. The simple meaning is Mahadeepaha Baswaram Nana Chitra Gada Udarastita. A very well lit lamp is placed in a pot which has many holes. Nana means many, Aneka. Chitra. Chitra means apertures, holes. Gata, Udara. Nana Chitra Gata is one single. That means a pot with many holes. And Udara means in the belly of the pot. Udarastita, Udarastitam. What is sitting there? A lamp. What? Mahadeepa, a beautiful lamp, a big lamp. Prabhabhaswaram Bahispandate. Bahispandate is second line. Bahispandate. Spandate means flowing out. Bahispandate. The light is falling out of that pot through the apertures. Though the light is inside the pot, but the light, the lamp is inside the pot, or Deepam is kept inside the pot, but the light is out, coming out of the apertures. Imagine that Halloween time. Whenever I see that Halloween time, the pumpkins are, having a lot of apertures, and inside they put a Dakshinamoorty Stotram. So I always feel that it is Dakshinamoorty they are worshipping at that time. So the light which is inside the pot, light coming out through the apertures and spreads all over. And it appears from a distance, there are many lights. The light is only one. It is like in some disco places and all, light is put and then the one globe, you keep moving. And there are a lot of small mirrors in that, or glass pieces. And light is projected on that one, and then it turns and rotates. Light everywhere. It looked like, shining light everywhere. Like in the same way, one light inside the pot's belly with a lot of holes that are there in the pot makes it appear there are many lights there. In the same way, Jnanam, Yasya Jnanam tu, Yasya Ishwarasya, Chetanasya, Jnanam, Chakshuhu Karanadvara, Chakshuradi Karanadvara, Chakshuhu Adi, eyes, etc. Karana means Indriyani, Indriya Dwara, through the door of these sense organs, Bahispandate. So, consciousness, like that of the lamp placed inside the pot, the consciousness also is flowing out through the sense organs. And when the consciousness apparently flowing through the sense organs to know the world of objects, it captures the objects outside, meaning the consciousness envelops, pervades the object in perception, either through the eyes I'm seeing, or with the nose I'm smelling, or with the tongue I'm tasting, or with the ears I'm listening, or with the body I'm touching, all the jnanendriyas. And then that very object which is perceived means enveloped by consciousness, having a return journey, coming back and reporting as though to the buddhi, and buddhi reflected consciousness, when it reaches, there is this aham janami. Janami iti, I know, iti tameva bantam, Tameva Bantam Ishwarasya Bantam Ishwaram. So the consciousness reflected through the buddhi is the Chidabhasa. So original nature of consciousness alone is getting reflected, and therefore all things are known due to the reflection of the light. Anubhati are come to be revealed. Edat samastam jagat. Entire world. The entire world gets revealed to us because of the presence of consciousness in this way. Tasmai Sri Gurumurtaye Namayitam Sri Dakshinamurtaye. To that salutation, to that Dakshinamurti, who is in the Chaitanya Swarupam, that is to be understood. Now, this is taken up to discuss in the Bhashya, as we go here. Tasya, here, Nana Chitra. Nana means many of them. Mahadeepaha, Akshudradeepaha, meaning it is not a small light, but it's a Mahadeepa. Maha, when you add as adjective, it is not small. It's a large light, meaning it's not a spark of light. It's a big light that is kept inside the pot. So, Udara tasya udare madhye stitaha yo Mahadeepaha Akshutradeepaha tasya prabhavat praswaram, meaning Ananya Adhina Alupta Prakasha Swarupam. And that light is on its own. It is not a borrowed light. Ananya Adhina. Not it is a borrowed light, it is its own light only. The lamp has its own lamp light, flame. Alupta, not uncovered, not covered. Alupta. Prakasha Swarupam. That Bhaswaram is Prakasha Swarupam, the bright light that is there. And in the same way, Yasya Chidatmanaha Aneka Chitravati Dehe Stitasya. The body that has many apertures like eyes, etc., that is compared to that part which has many holes. Jnanam. Jnanam is Swarupa Bhutam Chakshuradikarana Dwara Tattat Indriya Chitra Margena. Along in that, through the sense apertures which are having their own fields of experiences. Meaning, if it is flowing through the eyes, obviously the field of experience is forms and colors, shapes. If it is flowing through the nose, then the field of experience is smell. Similarly, through the tongue, it is a field of experience is taste. Through the skin, it is the field of experience is touch. Through the ears, the field of experience is sound, etc. Chitra margena bahihi vishayeshu rupadishu spandate gacchati. It goes in the sense it is enveloping, it is covering, it is entering into. In the same way as that of yata gadachitrebhyaha viprasutaha dibaprabhaha, like that of the light that is coming out of the holes in the pot. Tat sannihitat vishayan prapya. When those light, when come out, it reaches to the nearest objects, the closest nearest objects that are there present near the pot. Tat akaraha satyaha tad gatam tamaha abhibhavanti tata, as even they envelop that place and reveal to others, in the sense the darkness is removed. Tada deha chidra gata indriya dwara. In the same way, the consciousness flowing through the sense organs, prasaran manovritti avabhasagataya, as in the form of a vritti. So when it is said that when the light of consciousness flowing through the sense organs, what does it make it to be? What does it become? It becomes a vritti, a vishaya vritti. So consciousness becomes a vishaya vritti, as though when it is seeing an object, that form of the object creates a vishaya vritti. When it is smell, then that kind of a smell vritti. In that way, vishaya vritti. So sadatmakam आपन्नानि विचिदात्मस्वरूपाणि यानानि स्फुरणस्वभावानि तत्तदर्थं प्राप्य तत् आकारकारितानि विषयगतम् अज्ञातताम् अभिभवन्ति. So then they come to have the form of those particular object as thoughts in the mind. So Vishaya Prakasha Shabda Vachani Bhavanti Ityartha. They become the form of those kind of thoughts which can be recognized by the reflection of consciousness in the buddhi. Yasya jnanam eva prakarena bahispandade tasmai namaha iti sambandha. Whom are you saluting? The salutation to that consciousness which is flowing through the sense organs. That is to be understood, connected there. Yasya jnanam chakshuradikarana bahispandade tasmai Sri Gurumurte Sri Dakshinamoorty Namaha. So that is what is to be connected there. Ahamidam janami iti swagatena nirapeksha prakasha rupena vishayam avabhasayan yaha swayameva bhasade. And thus, therefore, when this consciousness taking the form of a particular object has been presented in the form of a vritti for the buddhi to understand, buddhi endowed with the reflected consciousness, able to recognize the form, if by recalling the memory about that object, therefore it would say, I know it is part. First one is I know. I know is common whether that object is earlier experienced or not. See, if there is a smell, I know smell, but what smell I don't know. Vada. No. How can there be a vada smell? So when we are today, I was traveling to Bakersfield. I was driving, so I started smelling some fruits, I said, there is some smell of fruits, but how can there be inside the car? So our Lata Ben said, no, I didn't bring any fruits. Probably she had some fruits in the previous day or somewhere. So I could smell it. So I know the smell. Then comes, I know what smell it is. So that requires memory. That requires recollection of a experience of that object. But I know, janami, that is unrelated to whether you have the memory of that object or not. Sometimes we come to experience something about which we have no prior experience. But I know that there is something. I know the sound is there. I know the sound. I know somebody is there. I know that there is a sound there. From where it is coming or who is making the sound, I don't know. Janami iti swayameva swagatena nirapeksha prakasha rupena, nirapeksha prakasha rupena, not depending upon any other, nirapeksha prakasha rupena, the light of consciousness, vishayam avabhasayan, revealing the object, yaha swayameva bhasade, tameva bantam, by whose presence alone, prakashamanam anusritya eda samastam jagat bhati. So the entire world is revealed after the presence of this consciousness. Na swadaha, not by themselves. Iti akshara yojana. To be understood. What is to be understood? Jagat swayameva nabhati tameva bantameva bhati. That's why we say na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam nema vidyuto bhanti kuto yamagnihi. This is a glory of that consciousness, to say where the moon cannot shine, sun cannot shine, stars cannot shine, lightning cannot shine. How can a lamp, a small little lamp, can reveal you, O Lord? Tameva bantam anubhadi sarvam. By whose presence alone everything else is revealed. Tasya vasa sarvamitam vibhati. In fact, his shine alone is seen as others. Two things. The world is seen because of whose light, and whose light alone is seen as the world. Think. So when an object is illumined by a light, the object is seen, but actually object is not seen, the light is seen. So understanding this way, that without the light, the object cannot be seen. And what I am seeing is also that light only. ऐसा समझना चाहिए. You see, what in the same way, उसी तरह, when I say the world is seen because of whose light, his light alone is seen as this world. This is the second important thing, is that is the most important one. Second one, if we don't do that, Advaitam will not be established. Iti Basamana Atma Prakasha Anuvittam Tat Sarvam Jagat Avabasate Iti Nirvarayati. Thus, therefore, it is eliminated. The question is being raised, and that the answer correctly being given. The doubt is removed as to whether the world has its own independent existence, and independently it can reveal itself without the presence of consciousness. The answer to that is, without the presence of consciousness, which is flowing out through the sense organs, alone can be seen as the world as a reflection of the consciousness alone, not otherwise. Tajacha etat samastam jagat agnim dahantam ayane ayo nu dahati tivat ya bandam anu sarvam badi ityuchade tata eva ekam sarva vishaya banam na punaha vishayeshu banantaram swataha parataha va upapatyate it tatparyartah. Tata cha etat samastam jagat, the entire world, agnim dahantam ayaha, when a iron ball is put inside the fire, anudahati vat. Anudahati means that the fireball starts to burn, so it's to be seen as the fire. Yam bantam anusarvam bhati, in whose presence alone everything else is shining. Iti uchchate tada eva ekam sarva vishaya banam. In the same way, all Vishayas, all objects are seen to be revealed. So, now, in the note that is given by Ullasa in English version, the cognition of an object which gives us an awareness not only of its existence but also the details about it, producing the knowledge such as I know the small red pot full of water, has been analyzed by Vedanta. The antakarana, the internal organ, that is buddhi or mind, is the subtlest upadhi, nearest to the consciousness or Atman. The consciousness of the Atman is reflected most in it. That is Chidabhasa. The Antakarana is capable of flowing out through the senses like the eyes and establishing contact with the objects of outside, bringing back their image. When the image, which is also a reflection of the consciousness in that object, becomes one with the reflection of Atman, consciousness in the Antakarana, knowledge as described above arises. Important point that is to be noted is how does that consciousness, which is all pervading, can go through the senses? To be understood here as the reflection of consciousness is what is going through the senses. The consciousness not directly is getting into the senses and then going out to the objects. The reflection of consciousness which is there in the buddhi, which is the closest to the Atman, and also that buddhi is in touch with the mind, and mind in touch with the senses. The hierarchy has to be known. No, Vishayaha, world, and next to the Vishayaha, Indriyani, sense organs. Then near the sense organ is the mind. Near the mind is the buddhi, and near the buddhi is the consciousness. It is like I give the example of a pot full of water with the rice is kept on the fire. The fire is cooking the rice, not directly. The fire first heats up the pot, pot gets heated up, water gets heated up, and water gets heated up, therefore the rice gets heated up and then cooked. In the same way, consciousness reflected in the buddhi as Chidabhasa. Chidabhasa through the in mind, it which is in touch with the sense organs. It through the mind, through the sense organs, it goes and reaches the objects. And having gained the vritti in the mind reports this to the buddhi, return back. And that vritti becomes one with the reflected consciousness. Then buddhi says, I know. Now, the buddhi does not acknowledge, unfortunately, that its ability to know is due to presence of consciousness. Therefore, buddhi owns up the ability to know, and that is called ahankar. That is said in the Atmabodha itself very clearly, that what is that verse? Atmanas satchidamshasya buddhirvrittiriti dvayam samyojya avivekena janamiti pravartate. Atmanaha satchidamshasya, Atmanaha of the consciousness, Sat Chit Amshascha of the nature of Sat and Chit. Buddhehe vrittihi, the thought in the buddhi, iti tvayam, samyojya, coming together, meaning that vritti is submitted to the reflection of consciousness. And the reflection of consciousness, which is able to recognize that vritti, I know. Therefore, I say, I know the part. I know this person, etc. Now, I know the part or object is revealed due to the help of the consciousness reflected in the buddhi. But buddhi owns up avivekat. So, sanyojya avivekat janami iti pravartate. Due to this inability to discriminate or not able to recognize that the consciousness alone is able to make me able to know, the buddhi not acknowledging that, it owns up the ability to know, and that is called ahankar. Aham janami, aham karomi. I am doing, I am thinking, I am walking, I am talking, I know. Some people, no. When you talk to them, they constantly say, I know. I know, kya hai? You don't know. Consciousness alone knows that. So a powerful light kept within the pot full of many holes comes out through these holes and illumines the various objects upon which it falls. Similarly, the consciousness of the Atman, which is the same as Paramatman or Ishvaraha, comes out through the sense organs like the eyes and produce the knowledge, I know the object. If outside objects were capable of independent existence and power of revelation, then all people should be getting the knowledge of all objects always. If the objects were to be known by themselves without the help of consciousness, then everybody knows every object all the time. Then sense organs like the eyes would have been superfluous. Then why do you need eyes, ears, etc.? It will be known, no, anyways, without even that. See, why do we need an instrument to know if the objects are self-revealing? The third line of the original is an echo of the Mundakopanishad as Natatra Suryabhati. We just saw that. Tameva bantam anupati, na swayam bhanti. Vishayaha na swayam bhanti. Tameva bantam anupati sarvam. Sarvam jagat tameva bantam anupati. Not by themselves. Now, this is a discussion that is to be taken up. What if objects can know and reveal by themselves? Now we'll see the second ullasa here. Ahamityανusandata janami cha chet spuret tasya ko va prakasheta jagat chasyat sushuptavat. Ahamiti anusandata janamidi cha chet spuret. Like, if the aham is the I consciousness. Two things we have to understand. Aham is the I consciousness or the aham vritti, which is self-revealing itself. Nobody needs to tell you are there. Aham vritti is that which self-reveals. Idam vritti is anuvritti. Anuvritti means it follows that. Aham asmi, aham deha rupena asmi. If you say aham deha rupena asmi, meaning I'm in the form of a body, then this anuvritti is idam. Idam is sharidam. Idam is anything other than aham is considered as. Even vritti is idam only. A thought is also known in the presence of consciousness. So aham is the aham pratyaya. Aham is the self-revealing presence, and anything other than that is called idam. So here aham iti anusandata janamiti. So if the I is not, let's second line, kasya ko va prakasheta. If the objects also can have the ability to shine by themselves, ahamiti anusandata janamita chet spuret, like that of I consciousness, if the objects also have the ability to reveal themselves, then kasya ko va prakasheta, to whom what will be revealed. In other words, the world by itself will be able to reveal without the help of consciousness. Then it will be always be known. There is no time it will not be known. Then what happens? What will reveal to whom? Which object will be revealed to whom? Kasya ko va prakasheta. Jagat, the word. Jagatasya sushuptavat. So, the world will have no conscious being anywhere. Other than the objects, because the objects depend upon consciousness for their revelation. If that is not the case, the world will remain like, if the consciousness were not to be there, the world without consciousness will be ever, always in the form of a sleep. Two scenarios. One, they themselves will reveal. Then what will reveal to whom? Always everything will be revealed. In the absence of consciousness, what will be the world? If the objects are not seen at all by anyone, then there will be, world will be like a sushupti there. So here, the explanation is given here. When aham, it is aham is there, then idam also is following it. Idam cannot first come and then aham comes. No. Without aham, idam cannot follow it. Idam cannot first come and then aham follows. That is not correct. That's why I asked that question. Can the world be before the consciousness? Can the world remain existing without consciousness? Can the world be before the creation? The creation, can it be there without the consciousness? So that's why Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi already say, idamaham pada bhikyamanvaham ahamilina ke pi alaya sattaya. Idam ahami layam gacchati. Idam ahami layam gacchati. What happens in sleep? Idam ahami layam gacchati. Meaning, the world which is known as idam, in the state of sleep, goes into merging in the aham. As though, when the aham withdraws, the world is withdrawn. Withdrawn means it becomes layam. Layam merges into this aham. So when it happens in our daily life, when we go to sleep, the world is folded, as though we say, the world gets folded into me. From a largest perception, we will say, what is pralayam? Pralayam is a state where aham has swallowed up as though the entire creation into itself. Meaning, it stops revealing the objects. Then the world cannot independently exist. It is called pralayam. Laya, that happens everyday life in our state of sleep. Pralaya, all things are merged, all living beings also merged into one single consciousness. That is pranaya. So we should understand here that the objects of the world, if they have their own independent existence, there cannot be anyone who is not knowing anything, not knowing of anything, and all things will reveal all the time to all people, which is considered as a weird situation, where you don't need a sense organs to know, because everything reveals themselves. It is abstract thinking, but that has to be accepted. Otherwise, if the absence of consciousness, there will be nothing there. Sushuptavat. So that is the reason why he picks up that idea here. Ishaha sargam vina vishaya satspurana yoho angikare. The print is not here. Badakam vaktum Ishwasya swaprakasha sadrupam sadrupatam sadayati. Okay, let me, I don't know how this is printed here. Okay, here let's say Vishayaha Yadi Swataha eva prakasheran tada aham janami iti jnanaha नानाश्रयत्वेन विषय अनुसन्धातुः स्फुरणं न स्यात् तद् अभावे च गण अपिहित गुहागत प्रदीपवत् मया विदितः अयम् इति कस्यापि भाव न अवभासयेत. So, if the Vishayas having their own independent ability to exist and reveal, then there will be no time, there will not be known. On the other hand, in the absence of consciousness, what will be the state of the world? It will be, example it's given is that when a cave is there, inside the cave, there is a light, but the door of the cave is closed by a huge rock. Can the light be ever be seen? Can the light be ever be seen? It won't be seen. That's why I say, Shila Gana Bihita Guha Gata Pradibhavat Maya Vididaha Ayamidi Kasyabi Na Avabasi. Tadacha Sushupto Iva Aprakasham Anusya Prakashamanusya Aprakasham Manusya Jagadaha Spurana Abhavat. So, therefore, the world will never be revealed at all in the absence of consciousness, in the absence of Ishvaraha, which envelops in the form of reflected consciousness through the sense organs. So, tat vyavahara pravasangaha ityataha avyavahara prasangaha ityataha anya adhina spuranam jagataha api upayeran. So that way, therefore, there will be no transaction at all, no possibility of interaction with any of the objects at all in the absence of consciousness. So therefore, it is the question raised by the student or Purvapakshi who raised the question in the form of, can the world have an independent existence without the presence of consciousness? Why this is taken up is because in the case of Sankhya Yoga school, they talk about the existence of Purusha and Prakriti as independent eternal existence. And Purusha is also real, Prakriti is also real. And when Prakriti is real, it is said, meaning Jagat, the Jadam is also real. And therefore, like that of today's science, which does not accept the world is not real, it is going closer to the Sankhyan philosophy that the world is real, as much as world means objects are real, as much as the soul is real. Because if they accept the world is not real, then they have to come to Advaitam. In fact, Nobel Prize winners this time, they have made this world is unreal actually. That is the one of the scientific discoveries. Now, if the world is real, To whom it is real? The existence of an object without the knowledge of its existence cannot exist. If you say the existence of objects can exist without the knowledge of the existence, knowledge of the one who exists, then to whom does it exist? So, pradhana, which they propose as the independent existence, cannot reveal itself, cannot know itself, cannot be known to anybody. Now, second scenario is that yes, it has an independent existence other than independently there, and whenever the Purusha comes in contact with the Pradhana, he knows its presence. Let us say that way. Pradhana is there. Prakriti, what is called Pradhana, they call it Pradhana, we call it Prakriti. So, Pradhana is there, matter is there, and Purusha, whenever he feels like contact that, he does that. That's the second possibility is there. Now the question is, who created that? Now, let us say that, no, it is always there. Then in that case, Purusha can never be Mukta. See, what causes bondage? The bondage is caused by the attachment to the objects, including the body, because objects doesn't mean external objects only. This is also that. And this is, we are more attached to this than any other things. So this, one cannot be free of this at all. So one cannot be free of this idam. Idam shariram kaunteya kshetram. So this kshetram, idam, which is a inert thing, but yet when I come in constantly contact with that, there is no bondage, there is no freedom at all. This is only a bondage. So when we say this is the cause of the bondage, so Purusha, when does it become free? When he detaches himself from this physical body. Okay, that means Mrityu is a moksha. Obviously, until then, body cannot be removed, right? If I say body, I am not in touch, I detach from myself from the body, what does it mean? That means you are detaching yourself from this physical body, then you're dying. It's Mrityu moksha. Okay. Even if you consider Mrityu as moksha, Mrityu of what? Sthula shariram or Sukshma shariram? If it is Sthula shariram eva idam, jadam, na Sukshma shariram, that is also not right. Even Sukshma sharira is also idam only. That is also Prakriti only. How will you get rid of Sukshma sharira? And then who are you? So Vedanta, what it says is, first of all, realize the temporary nature of this jadam first. It does not have its own satyatvam or spuranatvam. So it depends upon the consciousness, for it is satyatvam and spuranatvam, existence and revelation, number one. Second is that its existence being depending upon the consciousness, we should understand in the absence of consciousness, it doesn't exist, nor it can reveal itself. What it amounts to is that it is only an appearance. This is what the Sangyans don't accept. It is not an appearance, it's presence. It has an independent being, which Vedanta says, no, the existence and revelation of that object depending upon Ishvara or consciousness, we have to start questioning how do they independently exist? Their independent existence itself is questionable. Just like that of the snake that appears to be there on the rope, Its existence is only in the time when you do not know that it is an illusion. On the recognition of that as an illusion, even when somebody says there is a snake, you may sympathize with that person and transact also. See, for a man who has realized that there is no snake, it does not matter for him if somebody tells him there is a snake. He may understand that you are seeing it not correctly, but that doesn't mean that he will not interact with you, interact with your illusion. He will understanding it as an illusion, he will interact with that, while he is remaining free of it. So in the same way, this physical body is a projection upon the self, like that of the snake projected on the rope. When having realized this as an illusion, there is nothing wrong with the Jivan Mukta, while others are seeing that body only. Others are seeing him as only as the body, has no problem with that. And you see me as the body, it doesn't matter to me. I will interact with you with that illusion until you realize that it's an illusion. So that way, only upon the knowledge that Jagat Adhyasa Adhyasitaha, it is only a superimposition on the consciousness. Until that knowledge is revealed, there is no real moksha. Moksha is temporary. If you keep aside yourself away from the object, does not mean you are in freedom. You are staying away from objects does not mean freedom. Or you're denying the in your mind merely as a control, like yogis do. I don't want to see, I don't want to hear, I don't want to touch, I don't want to smell, I just withdraw myself. The withdrawal is holding into samadhi. The withdrawing state in the samadhi is also not moksha. Because the moment you come out of that withdrawal state, what is there? The world is still standing, waiting for you. Come on, out. Illusion, mithya, its mere appearance, adhyasitam, iti jnanena eva moksha sambhavati. Ajnanam is nothing but adhyasitam. It is superimposition, is called ignorance. That needs to be understood clearly. Adhyasa eva ajnanam. So this adhyasa nivritti eva jnana prapti. Jnana praptya adhyasa nivritti. So we'll see more of it in the next class. Om sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkavad bhavet. Om shanti shanti shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.